नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So, welcome all of you to this program. You'll be having, I'm here after some time now. Very happy to see all of you. And few new devotees are also here. We welcome all of you as well. So, Hare Krishna. Jai Jagannath. So we are now at the very last section of the introduction of Srimad Bhagavatam written by Srila Prabhupada. So we went through the different pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he is the one who is the best example of the person who is a living Bhagavatam. So his whole life we went through, and now at the end Srila Prabhupada is giving the Sikshashtakam prayers. They are said to be the only written document given or instructions given by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sikshashtakam on its own is so deep that we can talk about it on every shloka we can spend a day. But since we are trying to cover Srimad Bhagavatam, then we will be moving through it quicker, but trying to not miss out on any important aspects of Sri Sikshashtakam. The 8 shlokas completed by the Lord are: 1. Glory to Sri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar of which we are always anxious. Let's chant the shloka as well. Om Cheto Darpanamarjanam Bhavamaha Tavagni Nirvakanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadhu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamritaswadanam Sarvapnasnapanam param vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. The only aspect of true religion in this age is Harinam Sankirtan. The glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Repeating it again and again and again and again. Interestingly, this has been the Yuga Dharma for every Yuga. It's not only for Kali Yuga, but in Kali Yuga, it's the most simple and most easy way of performing Sankirtan. In Satya Yuga, you're supposed to sit and meditate on the Lord for 60,000 years without getting disturbed. There is this pastime, the story of Vishwamitra Muni. Right? His name was King Kaushik. He was a Kshatriya. He wasn't born as a Brahmin, he was born as a Kshatriya. And one day he's going by, after winning the battle, he's coming back. On the way that he sees the hermitage of Vasishtha Muni, the family priest of Lord Ramachandra. But this was way before Lord Ramachandra took birth. It's like 4 or 5 generations before Lord Ramachandra took birth. And he's going by and he sees, okay, so Vasishtha Muni is there, he's one of the great sages. So he goes to pay obeisances to him. And being a grihastha, a guest has come to their house. Vasishtha Muni says, please, feel comfortable, come sit, eat, let your whole army come and eat. He says, Prabhuji, I have a huge army with thousands of soldiers. You are a simple Brahmin living in the forest. How could you possibly feed all of us? He says, oh, don't worry about it. You just come and sit down. He comes and sits down. Vasishtha Muni had this cow. Her name was Kamadhenu. Right? He says, he used to call her as his own daughter. He says, the daughter, there has been guest in our house. So you have to feed them. You have to take care of them. Immediately from the body of the Kamadhenu cow, so many plates of prasadam came that every soldier had a special plate, separate plate for himself. Not only that, every soldier had 2 assistants. One for fanning and one for serving. That also came from Kamadhenu. And the king and his, the generals and the high class, they had multiple servants to serve them. When King Kaushik saw this, he freaked out. He says, how this is even possible? So he says, Vasishtha Muni, how is this possible? He says, I have this cow, Kamadhenu. She's taking care of me nicely. She's like a daughter to me. And he immediately thinks in his mind, the king deserves the best of his kingdom. This cow is the best. So he said, okay, give this cow to me, and in return I will give you 10,000 cows in an exchange of this cow. Vasishtha Muni says, I'm a simple Brahmin, what will I do with 10,000 cows? Who's going to go tend those cows, milk those cows, treat those cows? It's a headache. I have this one cow, I'm satisfied, I don't need more. He says, no, but I want that cow. He says, well, you can't have that cow. He says, well, whatever belongs to, whatever is the best in the kingdom belongs to the king. He says, yes, that's true, but not the property of the Brahmanas. This is my property. And she is not just a cow, she is a daughter to me. Don't take her. Like, no. Told the soldiers, grab her, let's go. Now Vasishtha Muni, he's like, I'm just a simple Brahmin, what can I do? When the cow, she saw the soldiers trying to take her away, she's asking, my father, are you just going to let me go like this? Are you giving up on me? Are you rejecting me? Are you not satisfied with me? He says, what can I do? He's just the other king. He says, tell me, what is your desire? You want me to stay or you want me to go? If you want me to go, I will go. If you want me to stay, there's not one person on the planet that can allow you to, can take me away from here. And Vasishtha Muni says, well, if you so desire to stay, then please stay. That was it. She produced from her body so many soldiers, equipped with weapons, that every soldier of King Kaushik was fighting with 10 people. And they were badly beaten up and thrown away. And King Kaushik was like, what? Okay, so he starts fighting. He is defeated by this army. He says, I can't handle this. Kshatriya, no? Can't handle insult. Insulted. Can't handle. Sits down, performs austerities for 10,000 years. Indra appears. What do you like? He says, I want all the celestial weapons. Every single one of them. Okay, have it. Gave. Comes back, with all the celestial weapons and, starts attacking Vasishtha Muni. Now, Vasishtha Muni is a Brahmin. What do Brahmins do? They teach, they study, they perform their Sandhya Vandana, they chant their japa. So to chant their japa, he had this stand to support his hand. He would chant. There was a stand. So he took the stand and put it in front of him. And all these celestial weapons, they just got merged into this stand. He took the stand, put it back, and started continuing japa. Now this freaked out Maharaj Kaushik even more. And he was like, the power of Brahmanas is much more than the power of Kshatriyas. I want to become a Brahmin. I am going to become a Brahmarshi. Okay, so he sits down, performing tapasya. He performed tapasya for another 10,000 years. Now, Indra is thinking, why is this guy performing so much tapasya? He already has all the celestial weapons. Now maybe he wants to take away my throne. So what he does, he sends one beautiful apsara. Says, go down there. She comes, she dances, she sings. Blooped. Maharaj Kaushik is gone. He got so distracted that he was spending time with this apsara for 1 year. And then there was the birth of this girl. Her name was Shakuntala. And as soon as the girl is born, Maharaj Kaushik is like, what happened? This was not supposed to happen. What happened to my austerity? How did I get distracted from my goal? So he left. The Apsara is like, what am I going to do with a human kid? She left. So the baby girl was in the middle of the jungle being taken care of by vultures. The vultures protected her, and that's why her name became Shakuntala. The one who was protected by the Shakuntala birds. So her name became Shakuntala. Anyway, then she left. Now Maharaj Kaushik is performing austerities for another 10,000 years. Again, second time the Apsara is sent. So first his lust gave up. He got lusty and he gave up his sadhana. Second time, this Apsara again appeared and he became angry. Very, very angry. And with his anger, he burnt down the Apsara, killed her. And he's like, what have I done? All my 10,000 years of austerity went down because I got angry with this lady. 20,000 years lost. In a moment like that, And he's like, no, now I got to get serious. So he starts performing tapasya. Now he doesn't want to get distracted. Lord Brahma appears. He says, what do you want? He says, I want to be a Brahmin. I want to become a Brahmarshi. He says, well, then you have to work hard. He says, right now you have just attained the position of Rajarishi, a king who is saintly. Oh, okay. Again sits down for 10,000 years. And then Lord Brahma comes and he says, okay, now you're a Brahmarshi. He says, no, I don't accept you calling me Brahmarshi. Vasishta Muni has to come and he has to call me a Brahmarshi. Only then I will accept that I'm a Brahmarshi. Then Vasishta Muni was brought. He said, oh, I pay obeisances to you, Kaushika Brahmarshi. And then he was like, okay, now I'm satisfied. I'm happy. How many thousands of years of tapasya? 40,000 years. 40,000 years of tapasya he did to become a Brahmarshi. But that did not stop his enmity towards Vasishtha Muni. There is even more, there was one king. What was his name? The guy who was hanging upside down. Anyway, it was, one king. Huh? Yeah. So he went up to, in the lineage of Lord Ramchandra, but before Ramachandra. I forgot his name. He says, I want to go to the heavenly planets with this body. I don't want to die. I just want to go straight to the heavenly planets. So he told his family priest, Vasishta Muni, take me there. He says, forget it. You're not qualified to take this body into the heavenly planets. He says, no, I really want it. I'm not helping you. He says, oh. So then he goes to Vishwamitra Muni. He says, look, my family priest, he said, he's not going to help me. Can you? He says, of course I can. If he's not going to do it, I'm going to do it. So he starts performing yajna, and at the end of the yajna, he has the spoon with which he's offering ghee. And this king is there. He stands the king, and he just goes up. The king, that was the lift, I guess, the first lift ever invented, Took him straight up inside the heavenly planets. And the doorkeepers of the heavenly planets are like, what? It stinks like human beings around here. What's this? And they see this king. So they throw him down. Like, you can't be up in the heavenly planets. They throw him down. So he's falling with his head first. And he starts yelling, Vishwamitra, help me, help me. So he says, stand there. So he's hanging upside down over there. And then Vishwamitra Muni is like, okay, what's your problem? He says, we are not going to allow some, stinky humans in the heavenly planet. It's not allowed. If you people don't allow him, I will create heavenly planets for him. So in the southern direction, with his spoon, he starts making the whole heavenly planet he created. And then he said, Trishanku, that was the name of the king. He says, that's your heavenly planets. But his 40,000 years of tapasya can create the heavenly planet, but it can't maintain where it is. So the heavenly planet starts falling down. And then Lord Brahma appeared like, I can't do anything about this. So they requested Lord Vishnu to appear. And Lord Vishnu upholded it and told Vishwamitra, stop it. Don't do, experiments like this. If he wants to go there, okay, you're a Brahmin, fine. He can have that heavenly planet, but, stop your, experiments. So 40,000 years of tapasya, but did he become devotee? No, he didn't. He became a great sage. He didn't become a devotee. What was he chanting? He was chanting the holy name of the Lord. But they didn't become a devotee. In Treta Yuga, you're supposed to sit down and perform this huge yagyas. In where, nowadays we make the yagya kunda out of bricks and cow dung and mud. Originally they were made out of gold, studded with all these precious and semi-precious stones. All the paraphernalia were made out of gold. And at the end, it would go to the Brahmin as charity. We don't have that much facility. Neither do we have those pure Brahmins who can just chant the mantra and the fire would ignite. They were also chanting the holy name of the Lord. But did everybody become, got successful? Very few. Daksha performed the yajna. What happened? Virabhadra came and just smashed it down to pieces. Very, very difficult. Dwapar Yuga, create these huge big temples and perform the worship of the Lord just like kings. How many of us can do that? Hardly any. So that is also not possible. So neither do we have a lifespan that long, neither do we have the purity to work with, neither do we have the patience and opulence to work with. What's left? What's left is just 40 to 60, 80 years of lifetime, no money, no patience. So just sit and perform kirtan. Alright? We're just sitting here, devotees get together, we talk about Krishna, we perform kirtan, we sing, we dance, we enjoy. You don't have to sit there. Can you imagine 60,000 years like that? God, it's difficult. So, that's why Harinam Sankirtan is called as the Yuga Dharma, the way how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown, which is dancing, singing, and reading of Srimad Bhagavatam. These are the different aspects. And then, what does that do? This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for the humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benedicting moon. It's not the scorching heat of the sun. It's the moonlight, which is very pleasing. Right? It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. All of it. This is the essence, the Harinam. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss. And it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. How relishable it is when somebody is just, we see devotees going around on Harinam. Right? All over Mayapur, there are a few different groups of devotees going around on Harinam. Just to see them is so pleasing. What to talk about, going and getting involved with them. Performing the kirtan with them. That is much more. pleasing. Right? So that was the first shloka. Second shloka. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Right? There is a bhajan in Hindi. It says that the names of the Lord is much more powerful than the Lord Himself. Much more powerful. And the example is given, Lord Ramachandra had to build a bridge to cross the ocean. Whereas Sri Hanuman said, Jai Shri Ram, and jumped across. Lord Rama himself had to make a bridge. But Hanuman, just chanting the name of Lord Ramachandra, went across. Why? Because the Lord has invested all his transcendental energy into His holy name. There is one very good, very very sweet pastime. There were, of this particular point. There was Hanumanji is always chanting the names of Lord Ramachandra, constantly chanting, and he's there serving the Lord. He's doing everything for the Lord. He's holding the umbrella, he walks in front, he sweeps the place, he fills up the water, he brings in the food, everything. And all these four brothers, other three brothers and Sita Devi, they are thinking, we have nothing, we can't do anything for Lord Ramachandra. He's like, so they got together. He's like, we got to take this service up. Sounds like complete ISKCON devotees, Take this service up, and he says, we got to sideline Hanumanji. So what they did, they divided the service among themselves, and they called Hanumanji and says, look, since we came back from Lanka, you have been working very, very hard, constantly. You're doing all the services. From now on, we will do the services, you take rest. And Hanumanji is like, what? Service to Lord Ramachandra is my life and soul. If you take away my service, I will die. Please. He says, no, you take rest. And when he looks at Lord Ramachandra is like, it's okay, don't worry. Let them do the service. And he says, give me at least one service, at least one. He says, what is that? So, okay, you choose your service. He says, let me flick my fingers when Lord Ramachandra will yawn. He says, Lord, okay, we'll flip. He says, okay, you can have that service, no problem. You can have it. Okay, so now Hanumanji is sitting there, just without even blinking, he's looking at Lord Ramachandra, just waiting over there. And they are all doing their different services. Suddenly, the yawning of Lord Ramachandra has increased so much. He's sitting in his... And immediately Hanuman jumps, starts flipping his fingers at Lord Ramachandra. Immediately. So the whole day is gone, all the services are done. Now Lord Ramachandra is going, to his room to go to sleep. Hanumanji is like looking, he's walking backwards, looking at Lord Ramachandra like that. And then Sita Devi is like, okay, Hanuman, now you can go. Lord Ramachandra is going to take rest. Like, no, I'm sorry, what if he yawns? He says, he's going to sleep, it's night. It's like, no, what if he yawns? How can you make a monkey understand? Lord Ramachandra needs to take rest. So Lord Ramachandra is lying down and Hanumanji is like looking like that. Somehow Sita Devi said, okay, listen, you go into the next room and you wait over there. Lord Ramachandra is asleep. He can't yawn when he is sleeping, right? He says, okay. He's there in the next room. He says, what am I going to do in this room? Let me just chant the holy name of the Lord. So he just starts Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai. He just starts singing. And Lord Ramachandra is there interacting with Sita Devi. And then he says, okay. And Lord Ramachandra lies down. And then, Sita Devi is massaging his legs. And suddenly, Lord Ramachandra went lifeless. His eyes closed His body has no motion, his mouth opened up, and he is lifeless. Sita Devi freaked out. Lord Ramchandra's leg got cold. She freaked out. Immediately, checked. Everything is lifeless. He's dead. Immediately calls Lakshman, Bharat, Shatrugna. They all come. It's like, what? They call the doctor. Nothing. It's like, what to do? What happened? The news went up to Sri Hanuman. Hanuman goes there. And Lord Ramchandra closes his mouth, goes to sleep. Like, what? Lord Ramchandra was yawning at that time. But he wanted to explain it to all the devotees that it's only Hanuman who can serve him properly. Right? So he flicked their fingers and Lord Ramchandra closed his mouth and went to sleep. Everybody shocked looking at this. The news of this service went everywhere. So there were so many kings, they started to come to visit Lord Ramachandra, visit Hanuman, pay their obeisances to Hanumanji. And there was one such king who came and Narad Muni caught him. He says, what are you doing? He says, oh, I'm going to pay obeisances to Lord Ramachandra because he's the emperor. Says, oh, nice. Let me tell you something for your own benefit. He says, what? He says, you go and pay obeisances to everybody. Lord Ramachandra is a Kshatriya, but he's the emperor, so you can pay your obeisances to him. But don't pay obeisances to Vishwamitra Muni. He says, why? He says, because he's actually a Kshatriya. And he was born as a Kshatriya. He's not a Brahmin. So why would a Kshatriya pay obeisances to a Kshatriya? And he's not even an emperor. Don't pay obeisances to him. Okay, makes sense. So he goes, pays obeisances to everybody, doesn't pay obeisances to Vishwamitra, just walks off. Vishwamitra gets angry. He's like, what? I'm insulted by this king? He called Ramachandra, Ram, look at this guy. He insulted me. Lord Ramachandra is like, oh, Gurudev, I'm really sorry. He says, you got to punish him. He should be killed. He insulted me. And it's like, okay. Tomorrow I will kill him. The king is like, what? What's my fault? I'm just following orders of Narada Muni. So he runs back out. Narada Muni is standing there, Narayana. It's like, what did I do to you? Why did you do this to me? I'm going to kill. And Ramachandra has given this statement that he will kill. And in Lord Ramachandra's family, the rule is, even if you have to give up your own life, you give it up, but never go back on your words. Lord Ramachandra says he's going to kill me now. Who can protect me? Even Ravana couldn't protect himself. And I'm not as strong as Ravana. He says, don't worry. Narada Muni is saying, don't worry. Nothing will happen to you. You go to the house of Hanuman and you tell Anjana Devi, Hanuman's mother, that somebody is going to kill you. And her son should protect. He says, okay, I'll go. So he goes, oh mother, please save me. I'm going to die tomorrow. It's like this king is going to kill me. I am taking the shelter at your lotus feet. Please protect me. Anjana Devi says, oh, don't worry. My son is Hanuman, who is the devotee of Ram. Just like Lord Ram, he will never go back on his words. My son will protect you. I am giving you my words. The king is happy and peaceful. And then Hanumanji comes in the evening after serving Lord Ramachandra. Ramachandra went to sleep. And Hanumanji comes. Mother is like, she feeds him nicely. And like, can I ask something from you today? Hanumanji became so happy. Mother, you have never asked me for anything. First time I'm getting an opportunity to serve you. Tell me, whatever it is. I will fulfill any desire of yours. So, nothing serious. It's just this king who was threatened by another king that he's going to kill him. Can you just protect this king? Yeah, sure. What's the big deal? No problem. So then he goes to the king. The king is like, please, you have to protect me. You have to protect me. Yes, I will protect you. Don't worry. Tell me who I should protect you from. He says, I can't tell you. He says, if you don't tell me, how can I protect you? You have to let me. He says, what if you decide not to protect me after listening the name of the king? He says, come on. I'm Ramachandra's servant. I'm giving you my words. The king will not be able to kill you. I will protect you. Tell me what's going on. He says, well, your Lord Ram has told him that he's going to kill me. Like, what? How can I fight my own Lord? He said, I don't know. You gave your words. You deal with it. Hanumanji is in full, tension. He's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to protect this king? And the next day morning he goes, he's serving Lord Ramachandra, but he's so sad. Lord Ramachandra says, what happened, Hanuman? Why are you so sad? You're always blissful. What happened today? He says, my Lord, there's lots of things going on in my head, and I have to deal with this situation, and how is it going to happen? He says, what's the situation? You tell me. Yeah. I always wanted to do something for you, but I couldn't. Even when we came back from the battle, I gave gifts to everyone, but I couldn't give you anything. Ask what it is. I will give it to you. Ask. Hanumanji is thinking, if I ask, spare the king, Lord Ramachandra will do it. He'll spare the king. But for that, he will have to kill himself. How can I ask my Lord to do that? So he says, okay, Lord Ramachandra, the only thing I desire is, I want holiday today. Just holiday, He says, that's it? You want to, 1 day off from your work? Yeah, no problem, sure, go, no problem. He says, I have to, liberate one king. Hanumanji in his mind is like, I got to save that king. Okay, so Hanumanji is coming back. The king sees, flat on the ground. Thank you, you saved me. I'm going to be, you talk to Lord Ramachandra. I'm safe. I'm alive. He says, no, hold on a second. He's just, preparing to come here to kill you. He says, don't worry. I have come prepared. Here, take kartals. And start chanting Jai Shri Ram. So the king is there and he starts chanting Jai Ram Shri Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. And Lord Ramachandra, he comes and he sees, oh, he's my devotee. He says, how can I kill this guy? He says in Bhagavad Gita, I said, Kauntehe pratijani name bhakta pranashati. My devotee is never destroyed. How can I personally kill him? What can I do? I can't kill this guy. Lord Ramachandra comes back. Vishwamitra is like, so, did you kill the king? He's like, no, but he's chanting the name of the Lord. How can I? He says, okay, no problem. I will curse you. He says, no, please. Don't curse me. Don't wait. This time I will take my Shakti weapon. I will kill him. And I come. So Lord Ramachandra is, traveling back with a Shakti weapon to kill him. And then, Hanumanji is there. He says, and this king, he advised the king. And the king starts going, Shri Ram Jaya Sita Ram. He says, he's a devotee of Sita too. How can I kill him with a Shakti weapon? Sita is Shakti. I can't kill him with a Shakti weapon. What am I going to do? He comes back. Vishwamitra is very angry. I'm going to curse you. He's like, no, hold. Says, I'll take a Pralaya weapon and I'm going to destroy him. Hanumanji advises him. And he goes, Sita Ram Jaya Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. He said, oh God, he's a devotee of Hanuman also. He's Dasa, he's the servant of the servant. If I kill him, what will I tell Hanuman? Hanuman said, I had only one devotee and you killed him. What can I do? And he's, Ramachandra is like, Vishwamitra on that side, devotee on this side. What am I supposed to do? Now, the emperor of the world is running up and down on his chariot. The ministers are not going to sit quiet. They call the assembly was there. Narada Muni immediately appeared. He says, how can you do that? He told Vishwamitra, please, you have to save your own king, your own student, your disciple. You have to save him. He's in such a dilemma. How can you kill such a person? Please, I request you, take your orders away back from Lord Ramachandra. And Narada Muni is requesting. And Vishwamitra says, yes, I'll obey your orders. The whole army, everybody, the whole city is there. Until Ram and Vishwamitra shouts out from a distance. Because Lord Ramchandra is like this, he's holding, he's pulling his arrow there, and he hears the name of Hanuman. He's like, I can't do this. And he's like, Vishwamitra, oh, he's pulling it out, and oh, Hanuman, oh, Vishwamitra, Hanuman. He's freaking out. He's sweating. He doesn't know what to do. So Vishwamitra from a distance, he says, Ram, stop. I have forgiven the king. You also forgive him. Lord Ramchandra is like, oh, thank you, Gurudev. Thank you very much. I'm satisfied. But, why did you decide to spare the king? He says, well, you are running up and down. I have ordered you. And I see your dilemma. And that's why I don't want to. And Narada Muni said, like, Narada Muni? He is always the root cause of all problems. So Narada Muni says, my Lord, please forgive me. Kali Yuga is coming soon. I wanted to establish the supremacy of your holy names over you. Your names are more powerful than you are. Please forgive me for all this trouble. But I am constantly chanting your holy names, and I know the effect and the power of the holy names. So to establish that, with the help of Sri Hanumanji, Hanuman, where is he? He says, I'm the man here, behind the king. I was the one supporting. So if a devotee is supporting, even the Lord can't, kill the person. So that's the strength of the holy name of the Lord. Even Krishna is bound. Prahlad Maharaj, he asked Narsimhadev, why did you appear from the pillar? You could have come from anywhere. Why did you come from the pillar? Narsimhadev says, because you said I am in the pillar. To prove your words true, I came from the pillar. That's why Krishna, he never gives his devotional service so easily to anybody. Because once he gives the pure love of Godhead to some devotee, he is bound. He gets tied up. He has to follow whatever the devotee says. Mother Yashoda wants to bind him, he gets bind. If friends want to sit on his shoulders, he's taking them and running. His friends want to eat some butter, he goes and steals. The devotee said, oh, he's in the pillar, he breaks open the pillar to come. So that is the strength of the holy name. They are even more powerful than the Lord himself. So that's the second shloka. Oh my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by chanting your holy names. But I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. Even after all these things, we don't like to chant the holy name of the Lord. So that's the second instruction coming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We should develop taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord. Okay, so 2 shlokas, 45 minutes. We will end here. Anybody has any questions or any comments? Yes, Prabhu.
It says like to be able to chant properly, one has to hear first from the devotee.
Yes.
Then from how can somebody like qualify themselves to be able to hear if they are like still like on a single platform? That's within itself like a disqualification to be able to hear properly.
Yes, but the devotees are very, very merciful. Just by seeing a devotee, you're already creating pious credits. Because it says, unless you have been performing pious activities for thousands of years, the name Krishna will not come on your tongue. So you have to be having, pious credit to be able to say Krishna. So when the devotees are out doing Harinam, the devotees are out doing book distribution, they're dressed as devotees. So even in the Western countries, they will say, "Oh, that's the Hare Krishnas." We went to, it was about 10 years ago. We went to Europe, and we were in Czech, dressed as devotees, and this person comes, old elderly person, he says, "Where are you people? I haven't seen you for years. I've been missing out on those cookies. Where are you?" Because for past 10 years, the devotees never went out dressed as devotees out on Harinam. They would go out on, doing the kirtan and book distribution, but they would wear their pants and shirts and stuff like that. Before that, the devotees would go out, says, "I've been searching for you guys for years. Where were you?" So that's already his past credit. He's having an interaction with devotees. That's why he's able to say, "Where are you, Hare Krishnas?" They don't know ISKCON. They know the devotees as the Hare Krishnas, the Hare Krishna sect. They don't know what's ISKCON. So, these kind of things, when the devotees are compassionate towards the living entities, then the name Krishna is easily comes on your tongue.
Like,
Is that okay?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, bro.
Thank you for that. You mentioned that holy name is the yoga dharma for all the Gita. So, I mean, in the Bhagavatam, look at Sakarata Bhakti, and yoga dharma. So, is there any reference to substantial? Is there any reference from the scriptures that holy name is the yoga dharma for all the Gita?
It says Krite Dhyayate.
I don't know.
No. Krite Dhyayate Vishnu.
Krishna. Yeah.
So in you are supposed to meditate on Lord Vishnu in Satya Yuga. So how do you meditate on him? Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Right? Or Om Namo Narayanaya. Or Hare Krishna. You have to chant the holy name to be able to meditate on the person. Then Tretayam Yajato Makhe. You have to perform yagyas. What mantras do you chant? Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha. What's the Mula mantra? Idam Krishnaya Idam Namama. So that's the holy name. Then Dwapare Paricharyayam. You have to worship Krishna, you know, with in the temple. So what do you do? Idamasanam Om Radha Krishna Bhyam Namaha. It's a holy name there. Right? And then what do you do in Kali Yuga? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the method is different. And you're chanting, like Srila Prabhupada writes, Dhruva Maharaj chanted Hare Krishna. And then he attained. So did Dhruva Maharaj chant Hare Krishna? Bhagavatam clearly says, he chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So one Shri Vaishnava came up. He says, "Why Prabhupada says Hare Krishna?" And he said, "Why Prabhupada said Hare Krishna?" He told one Prabhupada disciple. And so this Prabhupada disciple says, "What did Dhruva Maharaj chant?" He says, "Look, Bhagavatam says Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya." Okay, so in that yuga, he was chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. What is the mantra for this year? It's Hare Krishna. So the same benefit, no? So the Ravanshi Prabhupada says, Dhruva Maharaj chanted Hare Krishna. Is there anything wrong? No. So it's the same holy names of the Lord, just the form is different.
Can they get liberated by chanting the holy name in that yuga also?
Yes. What's his name? Nam Malwar. He was born 54 days right after Krishna left his body. Right? Well, still, Dwapar. What did he do? You ask the Sri Vaishnavas, they will say he's the first ISKCON devotee. Because the only thing he does is chanting the holy name of the Lord. What does Narada Muni do? Doesn't matter what yuga it is. What does he do? He's constantly chanting the holy name of the Lord. On, Narada Muni, Vijay Vina Radhika Ramana Name. That's what he's doing. So, it doesn't matter what yuga it is. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhu.
Like you mentioned, like the holy name is like more there. So then, if one is like chanting offensive name, then we still like have
What is, how do you cure offensive name?
I continue chanting.
By continuously chanting. The only cure of getting out of nama aparad, like aparad yukta nam, is just you keep on chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting, and you become good at it, and then it turns into nama bhas, and that turns into shuddha nam. So, you are there with your mobile phone in your one hand, bead bag in the other, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You're doing that. Right? Somebody said only if Srila Prabhupada knew about these smartphones, he would not have stuck the finger out like that. Somebody made a comment like that. What's happening? Somehow I've managed to finish my round in 3 minutes. It's good, It's like it doesn't take 7 minutes. It's 3 minutes. It's great. So I can finish my rounds in 1 hour. I don't need. That's Nama Aparad. Why? Because Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, he added it as the 11th offense. Says, unattentive chanting is also Nama Aparad. Unattentive chanting, inattentive chanting. You're not putting your attention in chanting the holy name. That's also Nama Aparad. So, but the cure of that is you keep on chanting and chanting and chanting, and you slowly, slowly develop the taste. So even though you're performing Nama Aparad, you're not focused in chanting the holy name, while keep on chanting and practicing like that, Krishna will manifest eventually. No?
Maybe I didn't understand you, maybe like
Your question was, the Krishna doesn't manifest himself when there is aparadha in the chanting of the holy name. Right?
it was more specifically in like at the effects that as you mentioned this past time, like Lord Ram had to build the bridge.
Yes.
Like Lord Hanuman just like chanted the holy name and then he just jumped.
Yes.
So then like that same effect, like is it like possible to get it when it's like chanting offensively, or is it like
No.
like
No, if you're offensive chanting and you jump, probably you will just end up 3 feet down inside the water.
yeah.
You know? If your chanting is offensive. And you'll just end up over there. But if your chanting is not offensive, you probably cross the ocean. For the first day I sit down and I start chanting and I'm looking around everywhere else and I'm not putting any attention, any endeavor into chanting my japa, will I go back to Godhead? No. Similarly, if you are having your chanting with offense, it doesn't carry the same potency. No, it does have the same potency, but you don't receive the same potency that you would receive when you are pure at heart and chanting it offenselessly. For example, this cup is here, right? It has water. Now, if I don't drink the water, will I quench my thirst? So, to drink the water, I have to take my hand, pick it up, pour it inside my mouth, and then I can drink. That's the method. So that's the procedure. Similarly, if I'm not chanting properly, will my thirst get quenched? So I'll still remain thirsty because I'm not following the procedure. I'm thinking, I want to drink this water. The water is there. I can quench my thirst, but I'm not doing anything to drink it. You understand? So unless I'm chanting the holy name purely, I can't expect to cross the ocean. You understand?
Yeah.
Does that make your question answer?
Like in my case, it's like more, say, I'm dealing with some problem, and like with the one Master explained to me that I should like make sure that I put the name and try to put the holy name for mercy.
Mm-hmm.
But like not like able to focus on the problems which I'm having, and it's like kind of like making everything worse.
Yeah.
Like it's like making it even more difficult to chat. But like it's like every day because I have no solution to the situation, and like every day just going deeper.
Yeah, but you answered your own question. You said you are not able to chant properly. But at the same time, when you, let's say you have the japamala in your hand, and in your mind you're thinking of the problem that you're facing, right? You're neither getting your problem solved nor are you getting your japa nicely done. So at that moment when you are thinking about, okay, what am I supposed to do, this is so difficult, instead of thinking all those kind of things, put those thoughts aside. Think about, hear the name. When chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, think what's Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Constantly try to focus on hearing the name, and then you will see slowly, slowly the problem will fade away. Yeah. So the only thing you got to do is, instead of thinking of the problem while you're chanting japa, because you're trying to chant the japa, instead of thinking of the problem that you're facing, think about Krishna. And that's the switch between aparadha yukta nam, means chanting with offenses, or chanting without offenses. Yeah? Is that okay? Yeah, try. We'll meet next week and we'll see.
Something,
Yeah, please, sir.
something can help me in this topic. Prabhupada said, correct attitude to change the holy name, like baby. Baby, if you focus on the parent, my mother can help me.
Yeah.
I cry to you, help, please help me. I don't have any help, only you. When you have this attitude, you can keep it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that like the master told me like that same thing to carry for the holy name. So somehow like when I'm able to do that, then like I can hear nicely and very quickly I can perceive like
Yeah.
some purification. But like because like consciousness is like covered, then like I'm being like more or less forced to believe that I'm like happy, that everything is more or less okay. But I know it's not like that.
Yeah, it will help. It will help. Don't worry, Prabhu. It will work. Just constantly keep on chanting, keep on chanting. It will help. There was one devotee. Um, no, wasn't a devotee. It was a non-devotee person who got haunted. Right. So he's like, what am I supposed to do? So some devotee said, chant Hare Krishna. So he starts chanting Hare Krishna. So as long as he's chanting, the ghost doesn't affect him. But as soon as he stops, the ghost attacks him. So unwillingly, he's just sitting there chanting Hare Krishna all day. He doesn't like it, but he has no option. And like that, the ghost made him a devotee. He's facing a problem. He's chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. He's chanting. So that time while he's chanting, no problem. As soon as the moment he puts the beat back down, boom! The ghost attacks him. So again, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah? Okay. So we will end here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय, जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल।